Indiana Newsdesk is made possible in part by Maller Grodner Attorneys, providing legal services to clients and the community. Understanding, expertise, results. Bloomington and Indianapolis. LawMG.com. IU Center for Rural Engagement, extending IU Bloomington resources to improve Hoosier lives in partnerships with communities and organizations. Rural.indiana.edu. Smithville Fiber Internet Security Solutions and Voice in Southern Indiana. More information at smithville.com. Bunger and Robertson Attorneys at Law, utilizing 75 years of experience, knowledge, and resources to help individuals and families recover in personal injury matters. Information at lawbr.com. And by WTIU members. Thank you.
Coming up on Indiana Newsdesk, Bloomington's attempt to annex more than 14,000 people in Monroe County was denied by a circuit court judge this week.
I'm highly in favor of smart growth, but I'm also not in favor of just of a unilateral vision.
The city says it's still debating whether or not to appeal the ruling.
After many decades in the making, officials celebrated the opening of the I-69, I-465 interchange right behind me here. Hear what they had to say about this momentous occasion.
And Bloomington officials met with local groups hoping to find a solution to the city's growing homelessness issue.
The problem is that we have more people entering our homeless response system than we can quickly move into housing.
We'll have these stories plus the latest news from across the state right now on Indiana Newsdesk. Welcome to Indiana Newsdesk. I'm Joe Wren. Bloomington's attempt to annex more than 8,000 acres and 14,000 people into the city has hit another roadblock. A court Wednesday ruled against the city of Bloomington and awarded some damages filed by remonstrators blocking the city's annexation attempt of areas 1A and 1B. The ruling comes after a 5-day bench trial that concluded May 3rd.
I believe that the people are intelligent and they know what's in their best interest, and they said no to the city, and I would like for the city to listen to them.
Monroe Circuit Court Special Judge Nathan Nykirk states the city didn't introduce evidence of future development, citing testimony the city doesn't need the land, it just wanted to right-size the boundaries. Bloomington Mayor Carrie Thompson's testimony included the need for affordable housing. Nykirk said that undermines the city's policy of refusing to extend sewer service outside its boundary for a Habitat for Humanity project. The city also claims the areas are urbanized, but the court's own observations state the areas are relatively rural.
I'm highly in favor of smart growth, but I'm also not in favor of just of a unilateral vision. The vision needs to be crafted and shaped and shared and revised.
Petitioners now have 45 days to request attorney fees. State law does require reimbursement up to $37,500 in reasonable litigation fees for each area. We reached out to the city of Bloomington for comment on the ruling, but they have not responded about what their next step will be. Since the merger of Childs and Templeton Elementary Schools was approved, the Monroe County School Corporation has gone full steam ahead, putting together comprehensive plans for how the merger will work. But how do parents feel about this upcoming change? Isabella Vesperini has this report.
It's the first day of school for MCCSC students. For Childs and Templeton kids, this could be their last year attending their prospective schools. The proposed Childs and Templeton merger could send kids grades pre-K through 2nd grade to Childs and grades 3rd grade through 6th grade to Templeton starting next year. People wanted to know about the implications of this merger, so we talked to parents to see how they feel about it.
When there's a concentration of poverty in classrooms, it makes it really difficult for kids to learn.
Rose's kids will be in 5th and 7th grade next year, so transportation will not be a problem for her family. But she does think a more diverse classroom will greatly benefit her kids.
More balance in the classroom just creates a more stable learning environment. I want my kids to interact with people from all different walks of life.
Rose thinks this merger was long overdue. Promoting socioeconomic equity in the classroom will help kids learn and listen better. Rose believes even more redistricting is needed to make the elementary schools and high schools more socioeconomically balanced.
I would like to see the district put a lot of energy, thought, intentionality into that process, knowing it's going to be hard, knowing it's going to be painful, knowing that people are going to not be happy about potential decisions, but we need to make hard decisions if we're saying we're about equity.
Going forward, Rose thinks MCCSC should increase communication with parents and make details of the merger clear and easily available.
We need some time together. There's a lot of heat and tension around this merger, and it's happening one way or the other, so let's all, put in our best selves and become something new together.
Child's parent Danny Raymond had other things to say about how this merger will impact her family.
I am cautiously optimistic that this could be something that is good for our community if the merger is done right.
Raymond has 2 daughters who attend Childs. Lydia is starting 1st grade this year, and Nora will be in 4th grade. When the merger is effective next year, the girls will go to different schools and potentially take 2 different school buses, which isn't convenient for Raymond.
It means that they will potentially be coming home at 2 different times. They'll be in 2 different buildings. If one of them gets sick, it means I potentially have to pick them both up from 2 different places.
Raymond's daughters aren't happy about going to 2 separate schools either.
They're, again, not overly excited about being in 2 different places. My youngest is obsessed with my oldest, as little sisters tend to be. As all kids are, they're a little nervous about change, but I think they're not freaked out. They know it's going to be okay at the end of the day.
Raymond doesn't think merging Childs and Templeton is the best way to address inequity throughout the entire corporation, but it is a start. She thinks a district-wide redistricting would better reduce inequities.
I don't love how that decision ended up being made. Ultimately, I feel like there were lots of missed opportunities for the community to be informed or have more information on how this could have worked towards equity.
At the last school board meeting, Interim Superintendent Mark K. Winston announced that schools would be holding engagement meetings throughout the year with parents, teachers, and administrators to collect input. MCCSC's plans went live on their website last Friday. For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm Isabella Vesperini.
The next community engagement meeting to discuss the merger will be August 13th for Templeton faculty. The City of Bloomington is partnering with local housing groups to tackle street homelessness, people living without shelter in places such as encampments and cars. As Ethan Sandwise reports, the new plan focuses on long-term housing but cuts some services for recent arrivals in the county.
Surveys by the South Central Housing Network show that the number of people living unsheltered in Monroe County has increased over the past 5 years, from less than 30 to almost 120. That's likely an undercount.
The problem is that we have more people entering our homeless response system than we can quickly move into housing.
The plan aims to cut unsheltered homelessness in half by the end of 2027 and 70% by 2030. Heading Home, Beacon, Wheeler Mission, HealthNet, New Hope for Families, and Middleway House developed the plan over 2 months of discussion with the city. The Housing First strategy includes expanding the number of shelter beds while providing more permanent solutions, such as low-rent units.
If we want to work with people to actually get permanently housed and to heal from the traumas that they have experienced in their lives, we need to be investing strategically in a plan that we think is going to work.
The plan calls for a short-term pause on welcoming unhoused people from outside the region to overnight emergency shelters, focusing on reunification services instead. That could include buying bus tickets or gas for transportation out of town. The group did not reach a consensus on that part of the plan.
The region, we encompass a 6-county area in Region 10, and we are the largest city in that region where people can come and find those resources necessary during their time of need. And that's unfortunate because we have a limited amount of resources in this region.
The U.S. Supreme Court ruled in June that communities are allowed to arrest and ticket people for sleeping in public. The group expects an influx of out-of-town homeless as nearby areas crack down. When they do, it increases the burden on Monroe County.
It's imperative for every community, and the real challenge is that every community is not stepping up to that imperative.
But most local unsheltered people have lived in the county at least 2 years. The group plans to increase shelter beds for medical respite and other services as needed. Long-term, it wants to add more than 1,000 housing units in the next 3 years, with rent under $500 per month. The report says Monroe County needs almost 9,800 more affordable units to close the gap. That could mean building new units or subsidizing rent for costlier places. On top of that, the plan says more case managers are needed to keep people in those homes.
So the challenge is we just don't have the housing. And so if we had housing that was ready for people and the support aside with that, coupled with that, then we would be able to have a pretty big impact, which I'm excited about with this plan.
The plan also envisions restructuring the local criminal justice system around inpatient recovery and mental health care. The idea is to keep people off the street once they've been housed. Mayor Carrie Thompson says the city is done advocating for non-shelter options.
I would much rather invest a larger amount of money in actually solving a problem than continue to put money at really mitigating the effects of a problem.
The city plans to fund the program with grants, low-income housing tax credits, remaining American Rescue Plan funds, and private sector investment. The plan is available to read at headinghomeindiana.org. For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm Ethan Sandweiss.
The city of Bloomington and Heading Home of South Central Indiana will host a public workshop next Tuesday to talk about strategies to reduce unsheltered homelessness. City Council will discuss the topic Wednesday. We're joined now by Clayton Baumgarth for the latest headlines from around the state. Hi, Clayton.
Hey, Joe. Attorney General Todd Rokita has asked for dismissal of a lawsuit that would block Indiana's new tenure law. The law riled university faculty over its intellectual diversity mandate, tying a professor's job security to the ideas they do or don't share in the classroom. The ACLU of Indiana says the law violates faculty members' First and 14th Amendment rights. It's suing the trustees of IU and Purdue to prevent the law from going into effect. The law's supporters, including State House Republicans, hope it will make conservative students feel more welcome on Indiana campuses by requiring professors to teach from diverse viewpoints. The Monroe County Election Board voted Thursday to remove Randy Cassidy's name from the November ballot because he did not meet the residency requirements to run. Under state law, candidates for Monroe County Commissioner must live in the district where they're running for at least 6 months before the election. Cassidy's lease for the Morton Street address he provided started on May 6th, a day after he would have had to have been living in the district to be eligible. The Monroe County Republican Party now has 30 days to find a new candidate for the District 2 race. The Owen County Humane Society is facing $30,000 in vet bills after rescuing more than 300 animals from a farm in Gosport. The organization expected to rescue about 100 animals from Cody Woods' farm in Gosport, but 348 animals were found, some already dead.
When you walk in and you see a lot of deceased animals in the pastures or in crates because they didn't get fed or receive any water, it is definitely overwhelming sadness for the lives that didn't make it until you got there.
Brown says the farm owner will not be able to pay for vet bills if he's found guilty of misdemeanor animal cruelty. The Humane Society operates mainly on donations. Brown says the influx of animals halted normal operations. County health departments are warning people to be proactive in mosquito prevention after samples from a pool of mosquitoes in Monroe and Greene counties tested positive for West Nile virus. They are not yet confirmed any human cases of West Nile in Monroe or Greene County, but 2 cases have been reported in Lake County. West Nile virus is spread by mosquito bites. It can cause fever, body aches, muscle stiffness, and in severe cases, neurological symptoms. The Monroe County Commissioners approved a request to rezone a 4-acre lot that is planned for a convenience store, gas station, and possible arcade. Rajesh Patel, who owns the property on West Airport Road and State Road 45, asked that the site be designated mixed use. It's currently zoned limited use.
I actually heard from a constituent in that area who pointed out that there's a bit of a food desert there. And the convenience store would actually help somewhat with that.
Residents say they are worried about pollution and water runoff that would come from the gas station. The petition will be reviewed by the County Drainage Board, which is set to meet August 13th. U.S. Secretary of Transportation Pete Buttigieg highlighted Indiana's role in helping build the future of electric vehicles. The former mayor of South Bend toured an electric vehicle battery plant set to open next year in Kokomo. The plant is a joint venture between carmakers Stellantis and Samsung and is expected to create more than 1,400 jobs.
We are working to ensure that America leads in building that electric vehicle future. And we're working in ways that make sure the Midwest is the center of it.
Last month, the federal government awarded Stellantis $250 million to produce EV components at its Kokomo facilities. The money is part of more than $1 billion awarded nationally. Algae blooms in Lake Monroe foul the taste of Bloomington's drinking water most summers. Without prevention, the effects could escalate. The blue-green algae thrives when nutrient-rich fertilizer and waste wash into the lake and produce toxins that endanger people and animals. During times of algae blooms, swimming in the lake is safe for visitors if they shower, but dogs should keep out of the water.
It's going to want to lick the algae off its coat and potentially take in some of those toxins. And of course, dogs drink water when they're in the lake because they get hot.
Climate change increases algae blooms because hotter and drier summers mean warmer and calmer water, which blue-green algae loves. And finally, wildfires are burning across Canada again this summer, but Indiana isn't seeing as many dangerously unhealthy air days from the smoke as it did last year. The main reason is that while there are many active fires now, last year we saw more earlier in the season in May and June.
The other factor is the wind direction. So even if you have lots of smoke in the atmosphere, if the wind is not blowing it in your direction, you may not have much of an air quality impact.
James says with Canada in a long-term drought, we'll probably see the smoke affect Indiana for years to come. And James says how much smoke we get every summer, we don't know. We won't know until it's happening.
It's definitely different from last year. Remember those photos, the video of New York City? That was
super low visibility.
Yeah. Thank you, Clayton. Coming up next on Indiana Newsdesk. After years of planning and construction, officials celebrated the completion of I-69 from Evansville to Indianapolis this week. And we look at how universities around the state are helping drive the boom in semiconductor production in Indiana. These stories and more right here on Indiana Newsdesk.
Seems we are to have a visitor.
The king will grant you an audience.
It is good news, is it not?
Now is the time for you to become the king you should be.
I can't imagine a future without you in it.
Can't you see what I feel for you? Your Majesty can form your own opinions. I will.
For almost 50 years, viewers have turned to the PBS NewsHour for fact-based journalism and solid, reliable reporting that has made the PBS NewsHour the most respected news program on television. You can join others in helping to ensure that vital, trusted news and information is available on PBS for years to come by making a gift to this station through your will, trust, or retirement plan today.
Welcome back to Indiana Newsdesk. Well, it took nearly a century to become reality, but the Evansville to Indianapolis leg of Interstate 69 is now open. State officials gathered this week for a ceremonial ribbon cutting outside of Indianapolis, but the highway is about more than just Indiana. As Clayton Baumgarth reports, it's the final piece that will ultimately enable drivers to get from Mexico to Canada.
Former Indiana Governor Mitch Daniels says there were doubters, but he knew this day would come.
Now we have a complete network.
The idea for Interstate 69 took off in the 1970s. There were lots of feasibility studies, public meetings, and environmental surveys before Daniels kickstarted the project in 2006 with his transportation funding plan Major Moves. He entered a deal to lease the Indiana Toll Road to a private company for $4 billion and used the money to make I-69 a reality. Construction on the 142-mile project began in 2008.
The crossroads of America is now filled in its missing link. It's a great day for not just people who use this road, the whole state.
The first 3 segments of I-69 opened in 2012. Then Governor Mike Pence picked up the project from there and oversaw construction from Crane to Bloomington. Governor Eric Holcomb was left to complete the final 2 sections from Martinsville to Indianapolis. Construction on the Finish Line project, the final and most expensive segment of I-69, began in 2019 in Martinsville. Holcomb says it was all a necessary price to pay for the future of the region.
3, 2, 1.
The cost of not doing this far exceeded the cost of doing it. So this was an investment in us. This was an investment in our future. This was an investment in realizing our potential.
All said, the $4.3 billion project opens 3 years ahead of the scheduled 2027 target. That's something NDOT takes a lot of pride in.
You see projects like this across the country that don't come up on time, don't come on budget. So we're really proud of the continued pace, the accelerated pace, 3 years early from our original projection. It will be on budget, even in a vast inflationary environment.
Though the ribbon cutting celebrated the completion of the Evansville to Indianapolis corridor, work still has to be done on Interstate 69. Near I-465 will remain an active construction zone. Drivers can expect temporary lane closures and reduced speed limits as crews complete bridge and pavement work prior to moving I-465 into its permanent configuration later this year. For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm Clayton Baumgarth.
Next on the horizon is construction of the bridge that will connect Evansville to Kentucky. That project is expected to begin in 2027. As of now, the bridge is scheduled to be complete by 2031. The semiconductor business is booming. The level of investment and job creation is sometimes compared to the space race. Indiana is getting a piece of it, and as Aubrey Wright reports, colleges have an important role to play.
Angel and Ava are star students at Ivy Tech Community College's Semiconductor Summer Camp. The Bloomington South high schoolers won a soldering competition, coming out on top with the best-looking wires. They showed off their little blue robots in the Advanced Automation Lab. Angel says their robots can flash its lights, play songs, and do even more.
We have to learn each round and do all the equations in order to unlock these different moves.
Angel, Ava, and other high schoolers were in class for 2 weeks from 9 to 4. They got an introduction to the billion-dollar semiconductor industry.
We have been kind of taking them through the whole aspect of from the semiconductor being formed in a wafer to the whole production and packaging and out the door.
Semiconductors are small chips that are important in our day-to-day lives. They power phones, cars, spaceships, and just about anything with a computing system. The government got involved in production during the COVID-19 pandemic because of international supply chain problems. Congress passed the CHIPS and Science Act in 2022.
It's one of the most significant science and technology investments in our history.
Senator Todd Young helped create the CHIPS Act. This year, Young celebrated the opening of a $33 million enhanced semiconductor facility in Odin.
This partnership between public and private sector and higher ed will lead to even more investments, we know, from Enhanced and other companies that will help keep us safe in the 21st century.
That plant is one of 8 companies in Indiana that have pledged investments of more than $6 billion. The facilities are promising more than 2,000 jobs.
Indiana in the Midwest is really poised to take a more leading role in semiconductor manufacturing than they have historically. We have a lot of the pieces in place to help drive that, and particularly our universities.
The Institute leads the Silicon Crossroads Microelectronic Commons Hub. It received CHIPS Act funding, partially for workforce development. The semiconductor and microelectronic industry relies on people skilled in advanced automation. Hamilton says to be competitive, U.S. manufacturing has to be as automated as possible.
The lower number of actual human people you have in the process, the more competitive we can be, because that levels the playing field.
The Silicon Crossroads Hub is focusing on training all ages and levels of education. Hamilton spoke to the Ivy Tech summer campers, telling them these jobs are going to be the middle-class, well-paying jobs of the future.
The blue-collar jobs of 2 or 3 decades ago are going away.
Having just a high school diploma won't be enough. Workers have to know how the machines work, how to repair them, and how to program them. And then they will have to keep learning as the machines evolve.
It's not a one-time I learn it and then I'm good for the next 40 years. It's a continuous educational process.
Back at Ivy Tech Bloomington, a new semiconductor program with updated robotics is launching. The summer camp was a brand new program, and Green says the students loved it.
It is just like anything else we teach here at Ivy Tech. It's just automation.
For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm Aubrey Wright.
Ivy Tech Bloomington's new semiconductor program opens this fall for South Central Indiana students. It follows in the footsteps of other Ivy Tech locations. Well, that's the end of this program, but our work continues online as we cover the news throughout the week at WTIUnews.org. Have a great weekend.
Indiana Newsdesk is made possible in part by Mallard Grodner Attorneys, providing legal services to clients and the community. Understanding, expertise, results. Bloomington and Indianapolis. LawMG.com. IU Center for Rural Engagement, extending IU Bloomington resources to improve Hoosier lives in partnerships with communities and organizations. Rural.indiana.edu. Smithville Fiber Internet Security Solutions and Voice in Southern Indiana. More information at smithville.com. Bunger and Robertson Attorneys at Law, utilizing 75 years of experience, knowledge, and resources to help individuals and families recover in personal injury matters. Information at lawbr.com. And by WTIU members. Thank you.